everyone, I'm Huub Hildenbrand. Thanks for tuning into my channel, Huub Hildenbrand Guitar Academia. Today we do not really have a regular lesson, but I really felt the need to talk about a very important question actually, and most people do not really respect this question too much. But I think this is really a great question, and the question is, why do we need music notation? Is this necessary? Is it necessary to be able to write music down with this abstract, difficult way? So the first answer to this question is, of course, no, it is not necessary. You don't need it. Music was notated early on, for example, for lute, for the lute instrument, and maybe all other instruments also, with a kind of a tablature where you put numbers in a certain way, like with a guitar tablature. It's very simple, and it works in the same way as a Renaissance lute music. You put numbers on a line, and this line is a string, so you have as many strings, lines as you have strings, and then you put just numbers on it, where to play the notes, which fret, which place on the string. And a 0 was, of course, an open string, so not fretted string. And this is quite a cool concept. It's a very good way of notating music. It's very direct, and especially during that time in the Renaissance period, you had these lutes. They were very often tuned very differently. So you had for every song maybe you have a different tuning, and so you just had to write down the tuning, and then just the numbers where to play. So you could not be confused by, oh, now the A is on a different place and now the G is here, because the string is totally different than in the other tune. So it had a lot of advantages, and the advantage today, of course, is that it's very easy readable. So that's why it's so it's everywhere in the internet. But I like this sentence actually. This is just coming to my mind, like a how do you say it in English? Always a step forward, which makes something easier for you, like a computer, for example, has some disadvantages just because you actually, as a human, make a step backwards, because you don't need certain abilities anymore. Like, for example, with writing, like people say that maybe in, I don't know how many years, but there will be nobody who's able to write with a hand, because it's all written in the smartphone, on the computer. Everywhere you have this way of writing. So it's in a way it's a step forward. It has a lot of advantage for us, but our abilities, they are decreasing in a way. With music notation, you should not be so afraid of it. Music notation is actually the simplest way possible to write music down, and the simplest way possible and the most or least complicated way necessary, you can say. So in music notation you find so many informations, and also it gives you a very great picture of how the piece is constructed, like rhythmically with bar lines, and especially which notes there are, which tones are sounding. That's a great disadvantage with tabs. You don't learn the notes, and that is something a lot of guitar players are actually lacking. But it should be like really learned from the start. It's very, very important, and it's also a bit like confusing and complicated on the fretboard to learn all these notes. So you should start very early on, and a tab is not giving you any information in this direction, whereas music notation gives you the actual note, the note name. So if you make this connection, you see it on the page. For example, on the notation, you see an A and you play an A, you make a connection. So you know, okay, this is an A, oh, this is an A, okay, I know where my A is. And I also know there are actually more possibilities to play one and the same note on the fretboard. And this whole thing, you do not really see as clear on tabs. And let me tell you a secret here. The secret why so many people in the internet and everywhere using tabs, there are two reasons. One reason is, for a lot of people, maybe most of the people, they're not really educated. They're not really learned the basics of music, of music notation, of music theory, how music is constructed. Because when you know this, when you know music notation, you would never go back. You would never go back and leave this whole thing and say, oh, I'm not interested anymore, I do my tab, it's much better. It is not, actually. You lose a lot of informations. But the other reason why people only use tabs and no music notation is because they want to make it easy for you. So they want to get a quick motivation for you, that you just can play these numbers, and you just say, oh, it's a 4, I play a 4 here, and then a 6, oh, and now it's already the melody, and you get excited and have a lot of motivation and fun, and they keep you of course connected to their channel, maybe whatever, to buy the books which don't use music notation. But I tell you, that's really a shortcut, and I feel responsible in a way for you here, that you really learn the whole thing, and you really learn the basics and really know what the whole thing is about. And that's why I let you start very early on with music notation. So the next lesson 4 beginners course, is the start of explaining you musical notation. And you will see this is not so difficult, actually. And you maybe wonder why so many people are avoiding this. Of course, it takes some discipline, some willingness to understand the abstract feeling of music notation and symbols. But as you proceed, you will very quick, you will see it's not difficult. It's very logic, and it perfectly represents the way we are thinking, and it makes it very much easier to understand music theory. Just with tabs, I think it's maybe almost impossible to really understand music theory. And like certain rhythms, of course there are different ways how to also rhythmically notate tabs. But if you have like more notes at the same time, maybe two melodies moving at the same time, it gets actually quite complicated. I think then for if it gets more complicated, music notation is an easier way. If it's very simple, maybe tabs are easy, but if it's very simple, also music notation is not so difficult. So you should really go for it and learn it. And the reason why I'm doing this talk here is because I experience this so often with students that they feel a kind of a wall they have to climb over to it feels really like a drag to be busy and to study music notation and theory and stuff. But it is just the other side of sound, of beauty, of emotions, of the heart of music. It's you can't leave out one. It's both together. And if you do a shortcut, you just leave out all this notation and you go just straight to put your fingers on the number and it sounds like this and that song you always wanted to play. It's okay, it's fine with me, but you should know that you leave out a lot of informations, a lot of important informations, a lot of a lot of chances to go deeper and to really understand music. And in a way, it will always keep you a little bit in the dark. So a little bit you do not really know where you are, what you are doing. And another thing, of course, that's the written form of music. So if you can read music, if you can play music from a page of notation, you are able to approach a huge number of written music books, music theory books, pieces, classical pieces, song books. Maybe there are songs where you would really like to play the melody, and you just can get a songbook and you have all these melodies and you can play them on the guitar. And later on, of course, if you want to play with other musicians and if they are also educated this way, it's so easy to communicate. If you have an idea and you think, wow, this sounds great, you can just write it down, Of course, you can also record it, but later on you can change some notes and you just write it. You just erase some things and then you write another thing on top of it. And this is a much more simple way, actually, of the whole process. And if you compose something, you have an idea, you write it down, you can give it to a piano player, and they usually know music notation, and he can just play it. What you composed and written down. If you show him these tabs, he has no idea what to do. He doesn't know how to play a 4 on this third line, So I really want you to go for it, to go for a higher goal in music, not say, okay, I do the shortcut and then I'm happy to play this song. If you are happy, it's okay. So I don't want to change you, But If you are thinking, oh, do I really need it? Isn't it too difficult? Then I just give you a positive way here, and I say to you, you can learn it. It's not difficult. It's not difficult, and you can learn it, and you can go for it, and then you are you come to a different plateau, and we can just talk on a different level here. That's my goal here, and I hope it's also your goal. And okay, if you like this talk, please subscribe to my channel. Today there is no PDF to download, of course. It's just a talk. And if you want to support me, you can go to my website, guitar-academia.com. There you find a button where you can donate. This would be really great. I would really appreciate it to continue my work here with this channel. So thanks for watching. My name is Huub Hildenbrand.